Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? This is Joe from PrepAgent. If you guys can hear me, give me a big thumbs up. Okay, I see Melissa. Looks like she's ready to go. Anybody else looking for those thumbs up? Good to see. Excuse me if I'm a little more peppy than usual today. I had one of those samples at Starbucks. You guys ever go to Starbucks and they give you those little samples and then you just have to try it because it's free and they're giving it to you, and then you drink it and you're like, wow, there's a lot of sugar. I think I'm ready to paint a house. So that happened to me today. So excuse me if I'm a little peppier than usual. Other than that, do not forget to add me on LinkedIn. As you guys start your real estate career, you guys should all be creating a LinkedIn profile so you can connect with other professionals. Just look up LinkedIn and then type my name, Joe Juder. If you want the link, just go to our private Facebook group, the study group, which I think all of you are part of. If you're not, you should be. Go to that group. I put the link there. I would like all of you to stay connected with me as your real estate career grows, and hopefully we can help each other become more successful in our chosen field. All right, sound good? Everybody have LinkedIn? Give me a thumbs up if you got LinkedIn. You guys all should have a LinkedIn profile. Okay. With that being said, we are going to go over property ownership today. So our first question of the day. Okay, first question of the day is on the board. All the following would be classified as real property except A, leasehold estate and residential properties, B, easement appurtenance, C, unextracted crude oil, or D, uncultivated grove trees. What do you guys think? Okay, and the answer here looks like everybody's going with A. And the answer is A, leasehold estate and residential properties. Okay. Is a leasehold estate, so a lease is personal property. Just a way to remember that, a lease is a piece of paper is movable, it's personal property. Is a leasehold estate less than freehold estate or a freehold estate? What do you guys think? Is it a less than freehold estate or a freehold estate? To write down what you think. Is it less than freehold or freehold? Caught music is the first one to answer that. Nice job. Less than. Okay, so the answer is a less than freehold estate. Remember, those are types of leases. There are 4 types of less than freehold estates that you guys got to know for your exam, regardless of what state you're in. Who could tell me the 4 types of less than freehold estates you need to know in order to pass your real estate exam? Okay, 1 is estate at will. Nice job, Tanja. Okay, 1 is estate at will. What's another one? There's 3 more. Estate at sufferance, estate for years, and you guys are missing one. Oh, Alex, looks like you got it. And periodic tenancy. But let's list them in the proper order, okay? First one is estate for years because it's a defined period of time, okay? It's like from June 4th to April 8th, all right? I say that's the first because that's the best for the landlord. Is the moment somebody moves in, okay, you know that they're going to be moving out. You know exactly when they're moving out. The next one is periodic tenancy, which is that month to month. Then you have estate at will, which means they could leave at any time. But what's worse than somebody leaving at any time is when they don't leave at all. That would be an estate at sufferance. So estate at years, periodic tenancy, estate at will, and estate at sufferance. Okay, moving right along. Jamal asked me, can you do a video competency? I'm not exactly sure what you're looking for there, but happy to help you however I can. In the meantime, let's move on to another question. But real quick, if you had a summer rental, what kind of less than freehold estate would that be? Out of the four we just named, what would that be? If you had a summer rental, which would that be? If you had a summer rental, estate for years, good. Move on to the next one then. Generally, construction onto the property of another, like a wall, fence, building, is known as what? A, encroachment, B, estoppel, C, situs, D, easement appurtenant. Okay, and you guys all picked A, encroachment. All right. So a lot of people, when they think of encroachment, they think of somebody building on the other side of the line, above me on their property line. Can you have an encroachment without something touching the ground? So there's nothing built on your side on the other side of the line. Can still be encroachment. Melissa says yes. Melissa, give me an example of that. I see you wrote yes. Michelle said airspace. So who could give me an example of encroachment? Tanya, nice job. Like tree branches hanging over. Okay. Yeah, power lines, things like that can be encroachment. Okay, good job, guys. Moving right along. Which of the following would be considered real property? A, bearing wall. B, trade fixtures. C, a cell phone. D, diamonds which have been mined. Okay, and the answer here is A. Bearing wall. For those you guys don't know, that's the primary wall in the house. It's the wall that holds everything together. So you could say it's the most real of all the real property. When they say a trade fixture, okay, is that personal property or real property? A trade fixture, personal or real? Okay, personal. Monique, you wrote dentist chair. Why'd you write a dentist chair as the example? Why'd you write a dentist chair? Because a dentist chair seems pretty attached to the ground. So why would a dentist chair be personal property, even though it's very attached to the ground? Right, and you wrote because it goes with you. It goes with that dentist. Good, because it's for their business. Now, that's a trade fixture. A normal fixture, not trade fixture, it's a fixture that goes with a house. Is that considered personal or real property? So when you guys hear the word fixture, is that personal or real property? What do you guys think? Okay, real property. Jessica Richards, you wrote it perfectly good because the next person may be a barber. I don't know. Who could give me the acronym to tell me if you know something's a fixture or not? Who could do that? Who knows the acronym to tell if something's a fixture? Okay, I see Diane wrote Maria. Good job, Diane. If I remember correctly, Diane's from beautiful Southern California, right, Diane? Okay, so we got Maria, all right? Who knows what Maria stands for? Okay, what does Maria stand for? What do you guys think? Method, good. So Maria stands for method, adaptability, relationship, intention, and agreement. Method, adaptability, relationship, intention, and agreement. Got to know that. Okay? Got to know that. Okay, personal property can never be none of the following options. B, turned into real property. C, hypothecated. D, alienated. And the answer here is A. Okay, personal property can be turned into real property. That was what a fixture is. You guys remember that? We just did that conversation about a fixture. By definition, a fixture is personal property that is now considered real property, right? Hypothecated is just guessing something's value, and alienated is just getting rid of it, okay? So there you go. Now, in case you guys are wondering, some people ask, why don't I have all the above are correct or none of the above are correct? Why do I have none of the other options are correct, like in a standard exam? Just so you guys know, it's like that because on our program, the questions are always randomized and so are the answers, because we don't want you guys memorizing the order or memorizing the questions. For those of you guys who do this a lot. So when you use our program, you'll notice the answers are constantly in a different order because our program randomizes it each time to prevent you from doing things like memorizing order. Because we want you guys to actually know this, not just memorize it. Okay, moving right along. Monique asked me, what would a cable dish be considered? That'd be considered a fixture. That'd be real property, assuming it's attached to the house. Okay, which of the following would be defined as a fixture in the law? A built-in stove in a mobile home. B, area rugs in a home. C, something incorporated into the land. D, crops after harvest. And B, nope. C, D. Oh, I see C. There you go. Good. Trying to trick you guys. Something incorporated into the land. Okay. Nice job, Jenny. Okay, so remember, a fixture is personal property that now becomes real property. Another way to say that is something incorporated into the land. Okay, moving right along. Which of the following not be considered an appurtenance? A, swimming pool. B, trees. C, trade fixture. D, easements. Okay, and the answer is C. We've talked a lot about fixtures today, so I hope we all get that right on our exam when we see it. Okay, trade fixture was when we talked about it being a dentist chair or something else for a business, and that goes with the person, not the property. Okay, appurtenant means it goes with the property. Okay, excuse me. Rubinica owns a storage building which he leased to Juan from April 8th to May 6th. Juan's estate in the property would be A, estate for years. B, all the other options are correct. C, personal property. D, chattel real. Okay, and the answer is estate for years. And we went over that when we, oh, man, I goofed. Don't fall for this one as I just did. I saw you guys hitting A, and I clicked A too. How embarrassing for me. Okay, so it's estate for years. What did all of us miss who clicked A, just like I missed with all of you guys? I clicked too quickly. He's an estate for years, okay, is a lease. And if you guys remember, when we first started this, I said a lease is a piece of paper. Therefore, a lease is personal property. Another word for personal property is chattel real. So I read it too fast. I went right to estate for years without taking the time to realize estate for years is a type of less than freehold estate. Okay. thereby making it a lease. A lease is personal property. Another word for personal property is Chateau Real. So those of you who clicked B, good job. And all of us who clicked A, including myself, for shame. We got to read it a little better. Okay, but good job, all you guys who circled B. All right, moving right along. Would the questions be this tricky on the real California exam? These type of questions we're going over today are pretty standard for every state. So yeah, see it in California, but especially stuff today, this is like real estate principles 101, the stuff we're talking about today. We're not talking about state-specific information at all. This is more like definition that you'll see in the beginning of all your real estate books. Pretty much all your real estate books, no matter where you live in, starts with a bundle of rights and then goes on to real property, personal property, things of that nature. Okay, moving right along. Which of the following is an example of a less than freehold estate? A, estate in severalty. B, leasehold estates. C, fee simple estates. D, fee simple determinable estates. Okay, and the answer is okay, we're not going to get that one wrong this time. We saw it last time. Okay, leasehold estate. When you guys are talking more about your state-specific information, when you see them talk about things like the commissioner or local rules and ordinances, that's state-specific stuff. When they talk about the commissioner rules, very often different rules regarding commissions or agency agreements, and especially when you talk about trust deeds or mortgages, that could be state-specific stuff. But when you're talking about stuff like fixtures, personal property, real property, or federal law, that applies to all of us, no matter where we are. Okay, moving right along. If your screen is blurry, make sure you have it set to HD in the settings. Okay, telephone lines are an example of A, a non-revocable license, B, an easement in gross, C, an easement appurtenant, or D, a legally valid encroachment. And the answer is B. Okay. What is an easement in gross? Who could write that? Who could tell me what is an easement in gross in as few words as possible? I would love it if you guys could do it in 3 words. What is an easement in gross? Okay, and here's what I'm looking for. Everybody ready? And I want you to write what I say here. No dominant tenement. Great job, Michelle. Michelle nailed it there. No dominant tenement. Remember, most easements, you have a servient tenement and a dominant tenement. The servient tenement is the property that's being crossed, and you're going to the dominant tenement. The easement in gross, there is no dominant tenement. Telephone lines are an example of that. You're crossing somebody's property, but you're not trying to get to another property, okay? So there's no dominant tenement. So everybody write, no dominant tenement, okay? All right, remember, why do I want you to 3 words? Remember, one of my rules for passing the exam is try and learn everything using as few words as possible. Be super concise with everything, okay? All right, moving right along. Title held by a husband and wife may include all the following forms of ownership except A, tenancy by the entireties, B, joint tenancy, C, severalty, D, tenancy in common. Okay, and the answer here is C. Okay, be careful this word accept, guys. Okay, be careful that word accept. Now, how do you know it's severalty? You may be confused with a husband and wife on the nature of their ownership when it comes to property. But one thing should be very clear. Severalty means alone. Okay, so there's no way something means severalty when there's more than one person involved. And the moment you see husband and wife, or two brothers, or two friends, or anything of that nature, it can't be severalty. So the moment you see more than one person involved, it can't be severalty. Okay? When it's not severalty, when more than one person is involved, what's that called? Who knows what's that called? So when it's not severalty, when there's more than one person involved, what's that called? Nice job, Alex. Alex, first one to get it. Give yourself a high five, Alex. It's a concurrent estate. Okay? So it's a concurrent estate. Now, there's different types of concurrent estates. The big ones that come up for all of us is joint tenancy and tenancy in common. There's more than just those two, but those are the two biggies that come up a lot for all of us. Okay? Some of you guys have community property. Some of you guys have tenancy by entireties, different types of things, but all of us have joint tenancy and tenancy in common. What does joint tenancy have that tenancy in common does not have? What do you guys think? What does joint tenancy have that tenancy in common does not have? What do you guys think? Okay, so I see some of you guys writing the 4 unities: time, title, interest, and possession. Or as Evelyn wrote, PIT, which would be possession, interest, time, and title. And some of you guys are writing the word survivorship, the right of survivorship. So what does that mean to everybody? So the right of survivorship. So I see that a lot. So what does that mean, the right of survivorship? Who could write that in? The right of survivorship. What's that all about? Okay, Christopher wrote can't be aired. Good, that's true. On a very simple level, if I own property with you and I die, you get the property. You have survived. You have the right of survivorship. Okay? The other person gets it, which is why you can't will it. All right? So that's the right of survivorship. There's also the unity of time, title, interest, and possession. Now, obviously, tenancy in common has some unity involved, or else you wouldn't be with the other person. What is the one unity in a tenancy in common that keeps those two people connected? All right? So joint tenancy is time, title, interest, and possession. What does tenancy in common have? Okay, and the answer there is possession. Good. The answer is possession. I truly hope you guys are using the Real Estate Exam Study Facebook group so you guys can learn together. There's clearly a lot of people on this webinar today who've been studying a lot. And it'd be awesome if you guys who are getting these answers correct could help some of those other people out. I try and help as much as I can, but obviously I'm one person. So if you have a question, post it on the group. And I would love if you guys could chime in, try and answer them, and I'll try and answer them as well. And we'll all learn together. One of the real ways you know that you really know this stuff is if you could explain it to somebody else. Okay, here we go. Okay, Rubinica owns a storage building which she leased to Juan from April 8th to May 6th. Juan's estate in the property would be A, personal property, B, all the other options correct, C, estate for years, D, chattel real. So we got this one wrong before. That's why we're doing it again. Okay, but this time we all got it right. Nice job, everybody. Okay, all the other options correct because estate for years is personal property, which is also known as chattel real. Okay, we'll go on to the next one quickly, though, because we did talk about this one before. When private property has been damaged, such as through excessive airport noise or taken by the government for public purposes without formal eminent domain proceedings, what would the property owner initiate to recover just compensation for taking of the property? A, writ of execution, B, inverse condemnation, C, injunction, or D, condemnation. Okay, and the answer is B, inverse condemnation. Okay, condemnation is when the government pays you for your property. Inverse condemnation is when you go after the government. You sue them, essentially, as in this example in this question. Okay, the government owned your property and they didn't do the right thing, so you could go after them to get the proper compensation. Inverse condemnation is under the government power of eminent domain. There are three other government powers involved, eminent domain being one of them. What are the other three? Who here can tell me? What are the other three government powers? So there's four government powers. Eminent domain's one of them. There's three others that you got to know for your exam. Who could tell me what they are? Police power, taxation, and escheat. Police power, taxation, and escheat. Pete, nice job, Jacqueline. Okay. Escheat happens when you don't have a will. What's that called when you don't have a will? Who knows what's that called when you do not have a will? Intestate, what I was looking for. Intestate. When you do have a will, it's called testate. When you don't have a will, it's intestate. Good job, guys. One of the other government powers is taxation. Taxation is when you got to pay money to the government. That would make it a lien. My question to you guys is, would that be a specific lien or a general lien? Would that be a specific lien or general lien? Would taxation be a specific lien or general lien? Uh-oh. Looks like we're going to have to talk about this one. The correct answer, and this one was tricky. This was a tricky one because you guys were doing so well. I was trying to trick you. But Christopher Castillo, you nailed it. It depends. Okay, when he comments on the Facebook group, you guys better follow that guy. Okay, nice job, Christopher. It depends. Income taxes are a general lien. Property taxes are specific liens. Okay, so it depends on what kind of taxes it is. If you don't pay your income taxes, then you guys, they could take everything. Property tax, if you don't pay, they just have a tax sale and can only take the property. Okay, which guy is Christopher Castillo who got that right? I'm not sure if he's on our Facebook group. You'd have to ask him, but he's the first one who got that correct answer, which says it depends. It depends on what kind of taxes. Okay, moving right along. One of the main differences between real and personal property is that real property, A, is immovable, B, is subject to depreciation over a period of time, C, can be willed, D, can be held in joint tenancy. Okay, A is immovable. Now remember, this is a general rule, okay? So real property is immovable, personal property is movable. But can you guys give me an example of personal property that is immovable? Who here could give me any examples and exceptions to this rule that you see in this question here? some personal property that is immovable. I'll give you guys a hint. We spoke about it today. We did talk about it earlier today. What do you guys think? An example of personal property is immovable. Jacqueline got it. The dentist chair. Good. The chandelier would be real property. Okay. So good job, Jacqueline. The dentist chair is an example of something that is immovable, but is personal property because it goes with a dentist. So trade fixtures is an example of that. Okay. The reverse is a pool covering. I see Nicole wrote a pool covering. That would be something that is movable, but is actually considered real property. Because if you remember our Maria test, that goes under that A for adaptability. That goes under that A for adaptability. All right. Okay. So remember this. The immovable and immovable thing, that's a general rule. But if you want the tried and true definition, personal property goes with the person, real property goes with the real estate. Okay, so try and remember that. The government's rights to make laws and regulation for the general welfare of the public is known as A, police power, B, eminent domain, C, the bundle of rights, or D, escheat. And the answer would be A. Police power. Good. Who here could give me an example of police power? Give me an example of police power as they're referring to in this question. So don't say like they could give me a ticket when I park wrong. As it pertains to real estate. Zoning would be one. Good. Building codes would be another. So for example, the handrails on your stairwell would be an example of police power. Okay, good job. In negotiating a sale, a buyer wanted an attached basketball hoop to be included in the sale, but did not want to pay extra for it. Which would best accomplish this? A, write up a bill of sale for the basketball hoop. B, arrange for the basketball hoop to be used as security for the loan. D, list the basketball hoop as a fixture in the sale contract. Or D, make an oral agreement on the side for the transfer of the basketball goal. Ooh, basketball goal. I feel like somebody from England helped me out with that question. Okay, and the answer is C. List the basketball hoop as a fixture in the sales contract. Good. On a purchase contract, there's a section called fixtures. Okay, and you write in things like this. Remember, what does that last A stand for in Maria? What do you guys think? Yeah, bill of sale would be if they bought it separately. Agreement. That last A is for agreement. This would go under that category. Okay, you put it in the agreement. Good job, guys. The deed restrictions on a subdivision said that the lots must contain a minimum of 15,000 square feet. The zoning restrictions said that the lots must contain a minimum of 10,000 square feet. Which would prevail? A, the zoning restrictions, B, the one recorded first, C, the one recorded last, or D, the deed restrictions. Okay, and the answer is, a lot of people are getting this one wrong, so we're going to talk about this one. Deed restrictions. Think of it this way. If you require that I give you 1 apple, but then I show up with 2 apples, did I satisfy your requirement? Yes, I did. I satisfied your requirement. And that's what's kind of happening here. If something requires 15,000 square feet and the other requires 10,000 square feet, if you have the 15,000 square feet, you satisfy the requirement for the 10,000 square feet. So simply said, the more restrictive one is the one that prevails. Okay? The more restrictive is the one that prevails. So if it said zoning required 15,000 square feet and D10, you would go with zoning. All right? So that one's a little bit tricky. An instrument which usually transfers possession of real property but does not transfer ownership is A, a sublease, B, a security agreement, C, an easement, D, a mortgage. Okay, answer is A, sublease. Who could tell me another name for a sublease? If you guys get this right, I'll be super impressed. So you guys got net leases, gross leases, and then there's a word for that sublease. What do you guys think? Okay, and what we're looking for is sometimes another way to explain a sublease is something called a sandwich lease. All right, a sandwich lease is a technical term for subletting. Okay, so it just means you're in the middle. So you're transferring possession, you're not living there, but you're not transferring ownership. Okay, moving right along, let's do one more together. When a tenant voluntarily agrees to vacate a rental property with no intention of honoring future obligations on the lease, this is known as A, abandonment, C, constructive eviction, C, unlawful detainer, D, notice to quit. Did I just say C twice? Starting to fumble my words. Okay, and the answer is A, abandonment. Okay, let's just do one more just for fun. One more. Of the following, which best defines a fee simple estate? A, life estate, B, estate for years, C, title of the owner without limitations, D, the most interest that one could hold in the land. And the answer is D. Okay, so these are freehold estates. There's 3 types of freehold estates you gotta know for your exam. A life estate, a fee simple estate, okay, and a fee simple defeasible. The fee simple estate, also known as estate in fee or estate in inheritance, is the maximum degree of ownership, okay? It's the maximum degree of ownership. But it is not unlimited ownership, as you always have encumbrances such as taxes. Okay, Jessica asked me, can you watch these videos after you're done being live? Yes, it's on your control panel on the PrepAgent website. You can access all of them. It's one of the advantages of being a member with the website is you can see the full library of every video I do. All right, so you guys can see it. With that being said, I'll be back again tomorrow, guys. I hope to see all of you here. And like I said before, look for me on LinkedIn. I would love for you guys to add me so we can help each other grow our business and we can stay connected throughout the years. Okay, so this is Joe from PrepAgent. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.